Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ears to the East, where this is kind of part two. If you saw the video we posted, I think it should be yesterday. I'll turn off my air conditioning; it's very loud. We posted a video about basically we were talking about songs that make you take you out of a bad mood, fix your mood, lift you up, put you in a better place. You know, basically set you on the right track when everything is against you. And so the first video we did was Neon was asking about my 4 selections. And so that means that we are now on to the video where Neon, his 4 songs, we're going to talk about them now. To repeat the format as we did last time, because they're your song picks, basically I'll introduce each one and then also I think about it and then you'll explain the real reason why it was picked and then go into a little bit more detail. Yeah, really talk about that. So any thoughts before we get started? Anything you want to say to set this one up, mate?
Now this is like free therapy. I like this. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's like I was actually thinking I might just like label these videos. Like I was thinking, what am I going to put for the title caption? I was like, music therapy, I think is what I'd probably put up there. It feels like we're doing music therapy, dude. Well, actually, that was one of the things we said last time, is that I think between you and I, in the title, we've both been doing YouTube pretty much since the beginning of January 2019. In fact, we started at pretty much exactly the same time, despite not knowing each other. We've both been through a lot of shit in the last 5 years. So this is like a really cool opportunity to do a therapy session together. Unfortunately, our psychoanalyst, Benedict, is not here. So...
we couldn't afford him for this episode.
Yeah, he charges extra if we actually want him to give us advice. Should I jump in then? Should I start the first one off?
Yeah, man.
All right, because we almost ran out of time last time, because this is a real fertile ground for conversation. So again, the links will be in the description for all the songs picked, but these are, today we're looking at, last time we looked at my 4 picks, these are Neon's 4 picks for songs that really just put him on the right track, fix when he's in a bad mood. And the first one I was interested, you gave me the links, obviously, as we always do. And the first one, really specific. Okay, so this was BABYMETAL with Onodari Daisakusen. Sorry, I think I am butchering that. And that's interesting, because that's not just BABYMETAL, that's a black BABYMETAL song. I believe it's from the first album. But you picked you very much went for a live performance, which was from apparently Live Legend 1997. You are blurry, by the way. Hello.
Yeah.
Now, Live Legend 1997, I was trying to work out, because everyone knows I'm really bad. I don't know all the concerts, I just know the songs. But I was like, were they even born in 1997? So I'm assuming that was just like the name. Anyway, probably they were born in 1997, that's recorded. That's not the point. We're talking about the song. So, my thoughts on this one. Obviously, it's a really nice thing because BABYMETAL, it speaks to you being a metal type of person. You know, it's the kind of energy, the sort of thing that you look for in a song. It's got that power. But the fact that it's a black BABYMETAL song means that it's got this uplifting value that you get from seeing Yui and Maya together. But when they're both together doing the black BABYMETAL thing, there's just an instant sense of joy to it. I did think that as well, it was like, it has an innocence to it, which is nice. Like sometimes we were saying in the our last video that when you're looking for a song to fix your mood, you don't just want happy, because it doesn't really help your mood. It feels forced. You want something that actually speaks to you and, influences you to feel better. So, with this, you've got a song that has got that sort of rocking energy, but also the joy of black BABYMETAL on top of it. I thought the live performance, I don't know, because I haven't seen all the live performances to compare it to, but I'm assuming this is just a really good live performance. I really did like the energy between you and Mo was great here on stage, just seeing them perform together. They looked like they were just really having the time of their lives. And one little note I will say, I researched this after you suggested this song. This is completely to one aside, but this song, when I first reacted to this back in 2019, I remember pointing out, I stopped it halfway through. I was like, is it just me, or is there like a 1/4 second sample of Limp Bizkit in this? And I finally just Googled it, and yes, there is. I was right. That weird little bit. There's a little bit of Fred Durst vocal in there. I was like, I recognize that. I was like, yeah, it's that bit from my generation. It's in here. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in as well there because again this came on when I was listening to it live. I haven't listened to this in like a few months now. I was like, what was that, Fred? This bit again. But anyway, so anyway, yeah, this I totally get this. I think it's that combination of things. Love to know. So, what's the story? Why did you pick this one? What's it do for you? Let's have the neon analysis.
This is a little bit of everything. This is a song that is very much permeated within my community. It just not only before we get into the actual song, the reason why it's uplifting, it's one of those songs that I had this one as a notification for when people used to give me bits in my streams. So I always associate this song as just so many good memories attached to it. So before the song even starts, just seeing the song always makes me smile because it always instantly I get yon yon, or I think of 1 for the money, 2 for the money, 3 for the money, money. And it just like just
is that when it was a donation song? Was it that?
Yeah, that was my donation.
Okay,
thing. Okay. So like people used to love that, and so straight away. It brings a smile to our face because it just reminds me of like I have nothing but good memories obviously attached to that. And then the song itself is just amazing. It's just Yui and Moa probably at the peak and height of their powers, where it was metal as fuck, cute as fuck, and it's just a really, really insane, happy song. And you know, it's all about them taking their money off their dad. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just an all-round bonkers. It's a happy song. There's no reason to this one, but it's a great song by itself. But it's more for me the emotional attachment to this one. Whenever I'm down, sometimes, or as you know, as content creators, we have our good weeks, we have our bad weeks, we have our ups, we have our downs. We are real people as well. We're not just faces on your TV screen.
Fit robot boy.
AI man, AI. But yeah, it was just one of those songs that it reminds me of my community. It reminds me of all I've kind of achieved on YouTube and Twitch over the last 5 years. And yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like I'm having a bad week or I feel like I'm having a bad time. It's one of those songs I can always whack on, with the good memories attached to it. And and then like I said, the song's just great anyway. It has a great breakdown. Great, just dun 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 dun. There's just so much to love about it. And again, like I said, Yui and Moa, height of their powers. It was brilliant. Probably the only sad thing I get from this is that we didn't get more black baby metal. We should have got so much more, but this was just amazing.
So in a way, but it seems like a lot of the reasoning, there's a sort of a nostalgic quality. I like that you said that it makes you think of what you've achieved, and I think that's kind of nice, isn't it? It's like sometimes when you're looking up the mountain, it's like it actually helps a lot to look back behind you and go, well, I come this far. So I get the feeling like you said that. And so in a way, in the same way that you talk about, obviously we don't have any black baby metal anymore, and that is true. But it's also, you can still look at baby metal and you can still look at the future and all the positive things that are coming up with them as well. So there's that quality to leaving the past behind and moving towards the future that's kind of beautiful as well.
Yeah, but also the flip side reverse to that as well. Like as content creators, we have people that come and go constantly all the time throughout our the years and what we've been doing. And it's even though people go, and sometimes I still like to listen to these songs and I still like to remember people that I haven't seen in months. And even though they might not be here or they might not, I still have those memories, and they're good.
That's kind of what I mean by nostalgia. In that, it's not, you're not going back in time, but you're kind of looking at those things, and that powers you forwards into the future, I think. This was just like, I just thought this was like a really cool first suggestion. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to move on to the second one, because the second one. So I believe this was the is it Utsusewa? I'm not 100% sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, but I believe this was actually someone's going to tell me I'm wrong. I think this was the debut song from Add-On. Now, this, of all four of the ones you picked, this is the one that really left me baffled. Now, this is a great song. Add-On, just a fucking whirlwind vocal performance. You know, I mean, you hear so many times about, oh, this person's like a new up and coming talent. You listen to them, you go, well, they're great, but are they really special? And I was one of the few people you listen to her, like, she 100%, her voice, she's earned it. She's just got an incredible voice over rhythms, styles, yeah, energies, melodies. She can just nail everything, and with so much passion as well. But this song, I was kind of baffled by it, because this song, when I listened to it, as brilliant as it is, I don't get an uplift. It doesn't feel uplifting to me. This is one of those songs that plays that sort of more pensive, introverted, perhaps slightly negative vibe I feel from this. We talked a little bit last time about songs that are defiant, that, you know, sort of like feel like you fighting against it. This feels more, this doesn't feel like that to me. So I'm really, really intrigued to know with this one, like, how does this work? How is this a mood changer for you? Maybe, I don't know if it's a story behind it. How is this the game-changing, mood-changing song for you? Why did you pick this one?
It's for me, again, kind of going back into the YouTube thing. Like, I picked these songs, like, where you kind of picked happy, uplifting songs. I think for yours, you
nearly said happy clappy, by the way.
Happy clappy, happy clappy, uplifting songs. I went for like more like emotion and how I particularly like have an association with the songs I picked. And for me, this one's like more the complete opposite of what I said about the BABYMETAL one, where that one's like more leaning into the memories and the good times and stuff. This one is pretty much just like, yeah, fuck off and leave me alone.
Okay.
This is my I don't, just shut the fuck up. You know, and I think the chorus for this one really nails it in, which is just shut up, just fuck off. And
I guess that makes you feel better.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those songs where it's just like, you know what, just everybody leave me the fuck alone. Just fuck off, do your shit, I'm gonna do me. A little bit. And it's just one of those songs. Sometimes it's one of those songs that as a content creator, like the things you want to say to some people but you can't, and it's getting those emotions and that aggression out in a very nice, just shut up kind of way. So, and yeah.
Sorry. So I was just going to say, so whereas the first song was about connecting with the community, this song's more about sort of like having time for yourself. This is the song which is about sort of disconnecting from the world and, you know, sort of respecting yourself, like, you know, respect my space. You know, I'm me. I'm not going to let other people get to me. I'm going to be me, regardless of what everyone else does.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, you know, as much as I know, there's things you can't say as a content creator. There's things you want to say, but you just can't. You could, but you can't. Like you can't.
We'll do a video about that later.
And and this song is just a really, really nice song to like get all the emotions or the negative weight and just kind of like express it and say it without saying it to anybody. It's one of those songs where you can kind of live through her in a kind of way and know that that's what she's thinking, and as well as the song. And it kind of says, like, the song itself just is pretty much just like, yeah, just shut up, fuck off, leave me alone. Like it's all the things that I kind of want to say to some people sometimes when they piss me off, but I can't. And it's just a great song to kind of, it makes you feel better in a weird, twisted, fucked up way. Once you hear it, it's just such a great song. And the frantic nature of her vocals as well, which you touched upon. Not only can she do like clean, lusciously, like flawlessly clean vocals, but there's something crazy and strained and I don't know, like she's got this profound way of being able to twist her vocals to seem almost like crazied. And it's nice to hear the song and kind of live through that and just have you kind of like your crazy moment in your own little bubble for a little bit, and then you just feel better at the end of it.
I mean, the word, ironically, I use this a lot when in my so I've written my notes, and I use this word in the description of the next two songs. But I think the word catharsis seems to be what you're really going to, that sort of feeling of like, you know, sometimes it just feels it's like a big old emotional enema. Sometimes it's just better to suck all that shit out and throw it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, like you say, the crazed voice, it's that feeling of just like, get it out, fuck this shit. Yeah. I could, it's not really, because I think we all have songs like that, but it's weird because in a way that I hadn't even entertained that kind of song as being appropriate for this list, but that's a very interesting point. It changes your mood. It doesn't necessarily make you happy, but it makes you feel better about not being happy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about in the last video where I said I've maybe fucked up the assignment a little bit, because you went for like songs that make you feel happy at the end. I just went for ones that, like I said, change your mood. And maybe not happy, but certainly make me feel better.
I think when we put this song forward in the poll of things for people to vote on, I think the initial thought is, oh, just songs that make you happy. But I think the more the both of us looked into this, we both came to the conclusion that it's not really songs that make you happy. It's songs that kind of fix your state of mind. And yeah, although catharsis is something that I certainly agree with, it's and yeah, I think we all have like cathartic songs. I think I'd overlooked that when doing my list. So I don't think you got the I don't think you got the process wrong. I think you just valued, you'd made a different value call on what you wanted to say. And yeah, so I get that. That's really cool.
It's like what we were saying just then as the first video is processing, and we were saying what's really, really hard is you can see the song, you can interpret it in your own kind of way, and you can attach a music video and help you with that interpretation. But what I found really difficult with your choices is trying to see how your emotional attachment and how you've like foresee those songs like was the most difficult thing, of like how that would make you react. I
think that's what makes this whole thing so beautiful, though, is that, like you say, we can't know each other's feelings, but I think the people listening to this, they will hear us talking passionately about the songs. They'll listen to the songs, link to the description below, and then they'll be able to say afterwards whether it spoke to them, maybe it'll help them, or maybe it'll just get them to see something in a different light.
Yeah. So, and yeah, like I said, this song is pretty much like, I'm going to do it my way. Shut up. Like, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, talking of catharsis, let's move on to song number 3, which is by a band called JILUKA.
This is the one I'm most excited to hear you, like to make you listen to this as well. Like, I got some kind of sick joy from this, I must admit.
This is, I think the song, was it called Venom?
Venom, yeah.
All right, let's just cover before, I hope people are listening to all the songs, but just before we get into this, I'm just going to cover what this is for anyone who knows me and Neon. So this is a song with frantic double kick drums, lots of guitar riffing, a guy shouting and growling furiously at the screen. Lots of the screen, I said scream because that was all I could think of. Lots of face paint, weird long hair, dressing up, madness, all that kind of stuff. I didn't hate it. I've got to be honest.
What?
I think of all 4 of them, this one, I think I got the most. I think I got this. To me, so the minute it started, I was like, fuck you, Leon. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I was like, you motherfucker. It's like the real joy of this isn't the song, it's you imagining me listening to it. That's your joy. But so what I think worked about this, I think this was the classic example. This is why I wrote Catharsis for this song, because for a start, the growly stuff, I have to really talk about the musical side first of all, because this isn't the sort of song I would usually listen to so much myself. But the reason why I appreciate it, the growly stuff was mixed in quite well. So it wasn't like just sitting on top of the mix, or it wasn't like blasting into your ears. It's like, there was that, but it was in the, and the other thing as well is I often say one of my big problems with the growly kind of songs is a lot of the time it just feels like growling because that's what we do. It makes us metal. Whereas it can work. It can work if it's musically done, but also if it feels like it genuinely is intended, like that's what the song's about. Here, it felt like there was a real sort of genuine sense of rage in this song. It didn't feel like growling for the sake of growling. It felt like there was something to it. And I think that came from the fact that the music had contrast. It had its quiet bits, it had its loud bits. And when it got loud, there was like symphonic sort of violins and orchestral stuff in the background. So it wasn't just loud, it was loud, but also with a sort of sense of atmosphere and passion. There was an orchestration to it. It was like a musical anger rather than just like noise. The quiet bits as well, like I said, it contrasted its quiet and its loud bits. There was a bit towards the end where it just sort of like suddenly becomes screaming and all this like really fast like machine gun double kick drums. So I was like, that bit kind of worked because they gave you a bit of space and you kind of see it's like, oh, okay, they're setting you up for it, and then they burst in and it was like, yeah, the song went out of its way to show you that it wanted to be that it was delivering an emotional punch, that it wanted to deliver an emotional punch rather than just be noisy. And I also got slight vibes, I must say. It reminded me a little bit of a band who I like much more, but who I know we both share, which is Unlucky Morpheus. I felt it had Unlucky Morpheus's attitude towards chaos, in that it was chaotic, but with a real sense that there was a musical purpose beneath it. But this obviously much more rage focused than Unlucky Morpheus, but I felt there was certain callbacks to that sort of symphonic high speed double kick drum madness. So yeah, I kind of got this, and for me this was a great cathartic piece. I actually listened to this several times without any problem. I you know, not my usual go-to thing, but I got it. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty good.
Wow, I honestly didn't see that coming. I actually thought this would be the one you'd hate the most.
Yeah, I got it. Again, wouldn't be top of my Christmas list, but certainly in context, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, you hit all the points there. It's rage, but it's controlled rage. It's rage with a purpose. Like the whole song is structured so well, and I feel like that's the difference in between Western and Japanese music, or Eastern music as a whole. To be honest, I feel like Western music has become too stereotypical and too played out, and there's a way of doing it. What's the word I'm looking for?
Predictable.
Yeah, like a plan, like a template. There we go. There's the word I'm looking for. Like a template of how to do songs, and like for good or for worse, it's that template is in quite a lot of Western songs. But with this one, they go out their way, like you said, with Unlucky Morpheus and stuff like that. With Love Bites as well, I love that, being able to put a violin in it, put a piano in there to mix it up to go crazy, and then just go fucking nuts. And more so than not, this is my song for like aggression. Like this is it. I don't, again, I know me and you have vastly different musical tastes, and
sometimes
in that way, it's surprising how much we both like the same thing, but
we have an overlap, but we dissipate at the extreme.
Yeah, it's like you start there, I start here, and then we'll like kind of meet somewhere there. And then,
I think like 80% is overlapping, but the 20% are pretty extreme. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty extreme. And this is just my aggression song. This is one of those songs you put on, have a fucking headbang to, have a good little rage, a little bit of a scream, and then just feel good, just feel kind of good at the end. So I have that with like lots of different metal songs as well, like for Western and Eastern. Sometimes it's just good to put on a freaking really heavy screamo song and just kind of feel good at the end of it. Drained but good.
Yeah, I go back to that point that we've both kind of made, but I think it really needs to be said. And I would say this when people listen to it, is that for me, there's just this feeling that whatever you think about the sounds, I mean, like I say, the screamo thing is really the only limitation for me. Pretty much everything else in this song, and yeah, also the double kick drums as well. Maybe not something I'd usually go for, that kind of machine gun usage, but I've always said that double kick drum use and that screamo thing, it can work, but the majority of the time it's used in a way it doesn't. And what was really interesting is that just for me, this was an example of a song where, yeah, it worked. And I think it worked because there was so much of that passion. So the minute when it first came on, like the first 30 seconds, I'm like, fuck you, what are you playing to me? But then like by the time it was halfway through and certainly by the end, I was like, yeah, do you know what? If I was in a sort of like a rage out mood, this would probably be that thing that would just, again, have that catharsis. You'd listen to this and you'd let it all out. And yeah, this was definitely a catharsis song.
Yeah, like I said, it's very similar. Like again, you touched on it quite well. It's very similar to a Lucky Morpheus, just maybe dialed up an extra notch, I think.
I really want to say that's what she said when you said this. Anyway, you touched on it. Anyway, go.
But yeah, like if you took the lead singer out for that and put Fuki in, for instance, like again, that would probably work still so incredibly well. But it's again, sometimes screams are good. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea as well, especially people watching. People like what they like. Some people like cleans. Some people like squeaky high voices, and some people like screams. I'm in the very rare case where I like all three. So, and I can appreciate all of them for their own different things. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes screams, man, it's just good. It's just good time.
I agree that Fuki would probably work in here, but I think Fuki wouldn't work as well as this guy because the whole thing is this song is about those like punches, and so it kind of has to be noisy when it's noisy. It has to be almost out of control noisy when it's noisy because that's the point. The point is that when it's loud, it's the contrast. So in the same way that I like it because it has its quiet moments, that means when it's loud, it has to be 11. It has to be as insane as possible because it is acting as a contrast to the other bit. So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting choice. Never heard of the band before. You said they're touring as well. We should give a quick heads up to that. Did you say they're touring in the West?
Yeah, they're touring there. They got I can't remember which festival it is. I'm sure we'll leave the links down below. I'll research it quick before the end of this video. But they are touring for the first time in Europe in 2024. Next year they are appearing at some festivals and stuff like that. So it's nice to see them there. They're getting out and about. So if you like that song and they're a new band that you like, go and they're near you, go and watch them, go support them.
If you like being screamed at, but with a little bit of purpose, then maybe. Well, talking of purpose, let's bring in the last song now. Now, the last song that you picked, song number 4. This one was really interesting because unfortunately I don't know the kanji, so I can't name it. But as always, we'll put the link in the description below. There's at least like one of the kanji I think I know, the middle kanji I do not know. The last kanji is the only one I've got a chance at. But this is a LiSA performance. Again, I was intrigued that you went for the first take performance. Again, similar to how with the Black Babymetal song at the beginning, you were very particular seemingly about the video you chose. Now, I don't know the original of this, but this is obviously LiSA performing to just piano. It's a very concise, to the point performance. But for me, this one, yeah, I get it. This is I mean, well, obviously LiSA's got a beautiful voice, but she does such a range of songs that it doesn't always come across in the same way. Whereas Ado's kind of got power in every single song, and sometimes the most negative, sometimes Ado's songs can feel a little bit self-indulgent, like her voice is so distinctive and so powerful, but sometimes you can feel like the songs are just a vehicle for her voice, whereas LiSA tends to adapt her voice more for the songs. You know, she's not always, sometimes she's very understated. This is a song where there was a lot of the delivery was beautiful. It went between these sort of big, powerful, heartfelt notes to these sort of a little bit more tense, panicky, sort of quick notes. She did what she does so well. She's just delivered this sense of raw emotion. And so for me, the emotional value of this song was very much, you know, it was really on the nose, but in a way that didn't cheapen it, you know. And I think as well, not knowing the original, but I'm assuming that this version was perhaps different from the original and being vocal and piano only. But that gave it a quality of being very raw. You know, it felt very much from her voice to you, with the piano simply as just like a canvas for her to sing on top of. Piano was beautiful as well, and the song was well written, but whereas the other 3 songs you'd picked previously were very thickly layered and there was a lot in there, this was raw in a different way. This was less raw in that sort of power way. This was much more raw in a sort of direct, emotional, like a sort of tangible emotional, just something personally being said from me to you kind of thing. It was that kind of performance. So yeah, I felt that a lot of this you can just sort of tell from listening to her voice. So I'd really like you to color in the gaps in between and sort of like add your own perspective on this.
So
once again, tell us we only got 10 minutes.
10 minutes. So the song is called Burenji. Hopefully I said that right. It's actually a opening to an anime called Demon Slayer.
Of course, it's a LiSA song.
It is, I know, and there's quite a few layers to this. The first reason why I picked this performance over the actual anime opening is because her first take. The one thing I really like about LiSA is she really puts her heart on her sleeve, and then when she sings a song, like she doesn't hold back. Like she puts her whole entire 100% of her body and her soul, her heart into every performance that she does. If you're a fan of LiSA, you know that if you see a concert, she's usually in tears by the end of it. And it's not a gimmick or a play. It's just like she gets so emotionally invested in the songs that she sings, and really puts 100% effort in when she does it. And the emotional kind of weight of that, I feel like really transitions well for the song. And I feel like when you go to the first take, which is really stripped back, it's nothing but the piano and her voice and her emotion as she's trying to sing this song, which I really like. There's an uplifting quality to that. But on a personal note, I got really into this song and really into this series a couple of years. Is it last year? I can't remember now. Time flies so fast. But I no, it wasn't last year. It was not 2 years ago yet. But I had an operation on my jaw. Found out I had an infection in my upper jaw, so I had to go for surgery, and then found out that the infection was worse than they thought it was, and had to have a second operation a couple of months later. So I was out for a quite long time. I was out for YouTube for about 6 months, and I tried to rush back as fast as I could, but it was again, the second operation kind of fucked that up because I needed further work doing. But the whole process of that is I took a lot of time off YouTube and a lot of time to stop creating content, and I spent a lot more time obviously with my kids, and they got really into Demon Slayer. So we would sit together and watch Demon Slayer, and this song would be on and stuff like that, and they really liked it. I really liked it. So it was an uplifting song and an uplifting moment for me at a dark time probably for me, because I was in so much pain you wouldn't believe, and then on top of just everything else that was going on, not being able to do YouTube was on my mind, not being able to sleep, being in constant pain, what was going to go wrong with my face, because I went into the operation not even knowing if I would have a face.
Can I just quickly interject and say, I don't want to sell short just how much that was, because I mean, the whole problem you had came from another problem you had caused that problem, and it was just a mountain of things, and that's why this channel was delayed for like months to start. And it really can. And when you say you were in constant pain, like, he's not selling that short. This is not theatrics or over dramatics. This is sorry.
No, like I said, I was in a lot of pain. It was it became apparent that I needed the operation, and like I said, the operation, they did the best, but then I needed more work done. And there's a lot of, you can't see it for those that aren't aware, but like underneath the top bit of my jaw there, there's a lot missing. There's a lot not there now. So I needed a lot of work doing that, and they did a really good job, to be fair to them. The worst case scenario would have been if I hadn't got the work done, hadn't got the operation done, I was in a real danger of my my upper jaw kind of like caving in a little bit. So I needed it, like I said, reinforced and the operation doing. But yeah, it was a horrible experience coming out of that, and then to go through it twice as well. Like I thought I would be in there once and that would be it. And then the first thing they told me when I came back out was, "You're gonna need another one." I was like, "You are fucking kidding me," you know, because I said to my my YouTube like on my channel and stuff, "Oh, I'll be back in like a couple of months, so I should be out for like 3 months, and then after Christmas I should be all right." And that, knowing that I needed to go back for another one, put the spanner in the work, because it was what the hardest part for that was, is I spent like 4 months recovering, got to a point where I started to feel all right, and then was doing like a couple of streams again, and then like literally had to go back under, and then back another 4-5 months of recovery, and it was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But yeah, it was just a really nice kind of like song. Dark Time, and I really particularly like this version of The First Take just because of its rawness, I want to say. And LiSA is phenomenal at really kind of stirring your emotion with the way that she sings. She might not be like the most powerful singer in the world, but when she gives it a roll, it really you can really feel it in the songs. And she's one of those few singers that kind of really gives off that emotion. And yeah, it was a must. And even then, I was so torn. There was so many songs from like Band-Aid, Razor Swollen, Love Bites. Was so much I wanted to pick, and I was like, oh, I'm stuck to these 4. But yeah, LiSA just edged it for me, I think, when I think of this.
I have to say that one thing that it's interesting, you made an interesting point right at the end there, and I think this actually is true. Like over these 2 videos that we've done now, and I'll say this, we've got less than 4 minutes left on Zoom free. The bands that we've picked, we haven't gone for the obvious like clicky ones, and I think this is one of the interesting things is like usually we try to think about, oh, let's think of some artists that people relate to as well as thinking of the artists that we relate to. It's interesting, you can tell how personal these 2 lists are, and that like the songs we've picked, you know, it's been a bit of an obscure selection, and you know, like I kind of like that. I like the fact that, you know, like when it comes to Ado, you've picked like that first single that I like it, and it's not like the one from like One Piece Red or anything. And then we've got like Black Baby Metal, like an album track from the first album that is lost in the sands of time to most new fans. You know, you got LiSA, who again really famous for a lot of people, but you know, not one of those names that, it's not like one of people that, you know, he's like getting all the reactors going to her. And then JILUKA, I don't even know the fuck who that is. Yeah, I just think there's something very like, I've really enjoyed this. I think we were saying earlier how this is music therapy, and I was thinking about that before we even started the first video. So hearing you say it as well is like really beautiful. I think this is really nice.
I try to vary. I always try to mix it up as well, because like I said, like me, I think both me and Benedict, you probably throw us both in the same category here. But I think we're kind of known as like the metal guys, and this was a good opportunity for me to, like,
in very different ways. But yeah.
And this was a good time. This is a good kind of like time for me to do a little bit more of a varied list, which kind of shows my my more poppy roots, I think, a little bit more.
Just a little bit. Is it straight far, man?
I had to pick the JILUKA. I couldn't go full soft, man.
I also think I should as well. I think this is kind of nice because like one thing that I think is at the core of this channel, and all 3 of us have said this before, is that we love to argue about shit. And I think, and we have our bad days. And I think I have had the feeling sometimes that people have actually commented on some of our videos where they think we're about to kill each other. And the truth is that like me and Neon have been like through a lot of stuff. I mean, Neon obviously helped me a lot a few years ago as well, and you know, we've all kind of been there for each other, and I think that's kind of what cemented us as like being such good friends, despite the fact it's still weird we've never met. And so in a way, like doing this selection I think is really nice because it's a chance for us to really sort of connect musically as well. But we got less than a minute left, so I'm just going to round this one off by saying thank you as always. The links are below. Do make sure you watch both of the videos that we've both done about this. That's 8 songs that should cheer you up in total. These are great selections. Links are in the description below both of the videos. Anything you want to say before we wrap this one up with 40 seconds to go?
Yeah, I'd really like it if you comment down below. I really want to hear the selection of your 4 songs as well. I'm sure many of you
Yeah.
have already done it on Howard's video as well, because of that one will be posting first. But if you haven't and you want to do it again on mine, pick another 4 songs. I'd love to go through the comments and see what everybody's got.
All right, 20 seconds to go. So I'm going to ask you to keep your ears to the ears and keep on smiling.